Number 2, today is April 11th.
Yeah.
All right, lesson number 2. So we talked about a couple things. The first thing we talked about is that this is not a hopping step.
Yes.
It's not and run, okay? When we do it, we want to be driving through our ones. And 1, 2, 3, and 1, nice and smooth. I don't want to be hopping. I want it to be a nice smooth step. So we started with, again, with our closed position, and 1, 2, 3, back to close, 2, 3, and 1, to shadow, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. From shadow, we've talked about making sure that anymore our arms are going to be like a tail of a monkey or a tail of a cat. They're going to be out there for balance and for show. And I'm going to always try to reach the end of my line. So, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. Remember that arm's got to go out that way. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1. Now on this one here, when I do arms, and if I'm going to be traveling down a slot, and I know I'm just going to do a U-turn, I'm not going to do this as much as I'm going to do, and 1, 2, 3, and 1.
Okay.
2, 3, and 1.
Okay.
What I'm going to leave this for is if I have free spins.
Okay.
2, 3, and 1.
Okay.
Okay? So the ballerina pose is if I'm doing a free spin.
Okay.
If I'm still connected to my partner, like in a shadow, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We're still connected, okay? So I want to be more of a reach, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. The other thing we did was a windmill. 2, 3, and 1, 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 2, 3. The last thing we worked on were wraps. 2, 3, and 1, 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 2, 3. There's all kinds of wraps. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. The last kind of wrap that we talked about was where, and this is where as a follow, you get to understand. Right now we're sharing the slot. Okay, so on an open, that I'm getting off the slot. But on this wrap the last wrap we did, it's in and 1, 2, 3, and 1. We're essentially both on the rail. The slot is in front of us. That's one indicator that this is a wrap, that we're going to be doing a wrap. So we're going to break and 1, 2, 3, and 1. And then you're going to come back down the slot again. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1. 2, the other direction looks like this. We're on the rail. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3. And the last thing we worked on for class was a traveling step. Essentially a traveling grapevine. And 1, 2, 3, and 1. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. We can take it back the other way, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 with a U-turn, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Lesson number 2.
Thank you. Thank you.